I'm Heather Sadowski. I am the Director of Health Promotion at the University of Richmond, and my position is very unique to our campus because I oversee both student and employee well-being and partner with many different departments across campus to provide very comprehensive holistic services to our students and our students, faculty, and staff at the University of Richmond. So I'm here to talk to you today about taking care of yourself. So a little overview will be that with the next slide, we're going to talk about the importance of self-care, really identifying our own needs, taking steps to meet them, and then talking about proper care of ourselves and that golden rule of treating ourselves as kindly as we would treat others. So a question that I ask all of you today is, what have we done for self-care today? We really want to think about these in regards to our needs and our wants and striving for bonuses. So have we met our basic needs? Have we had breakfast or lunch? Have we received adequate sleep, those 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night? Have we had personal hygiene habits taken care of? Have we taken our vitamins or prescriptions? How about those wants? Did we get a chance to exercise or stretch? Did we pack a healthy lunch or any snacks that we wanted to eat today? And how about our meal planning or meal prepping for this evening? Then the bonuses, those bonuses of cleaning our house, writing in a journal, maybe getting a massage, maybe practicing some mindfulness or meditation. So really thinking about honoring those needs and wants and striving for bonuses, at least one bonus in each of our day. So choosing our focus, we will go over these 5 points separately in the slides to follow, but what we focus on increases. Research has shown that if we promote that positivity will increase. So we want to think about being present and aware in situations. We want to think about harnessing difficult situations or harnessing difficulty that we may have in our lives. We want to think about overhauling habits. So whether those are poor habits that we want to just change or make some small changes to improve upon those habits. We want to listen to our bodies. So just doing that self-check. How are we feeling today? How is our head feeling today? How is our heart feeling today? And then keeping track of joy, something that we want to make sure that we celebrate, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. So when we're talking about being present and aware, it's more than just showing up. It's the way that we interact with ourselves and others. And the moment that we realize that we're not present, we become present. So that we can all think back to a situation where our minds were wandering. They were going ahead of ourselves. We weren't here in that present moment. So what we did was what we can do moving forward is we can just stop, just take a pause, think about where we're at, and then be present and just taking that one moment at a time. So being here, be present wherever you are, just to be there and be focused on what you have ahead. Harnessing difficulty. When we think about difficult situations, we can harness that difficulty by responding in a more constructive and a harmonious way. So we have a stress reaction and we have a stress response. So that stress reaction is fueled by those unconscious habits and those patterns. That stress response allows us to focus on those emotions, to understand and respect those emotions, and really then respond. So that separation of, I understand this is happening, I'm going to take a moment, and then I'm going to respond to it. The difference is in the next slide right here. So when we're talking about the reaction versus the response, so our reaction, it's an emotional component. It's a self-protective. We want to keep ourselves safe. We don't want to cause harm. It happens very quickly within an instant. It keeps us in that state of unrest. It can cause anxiety or stress. And sometimes it can even involve the ego. So when we think about the choice that we can make for our response to stress or any situation, it implies that there's a space between the event and our interpretation of the event. So we just take a minute, we may take a deep breath, inhaling and exhaling, and then we have our response. So it allows us to have a sense that a decision can be made, and it's up to us to make that choice. With the next slide comes overhauling habits. So just spend a few seconds reflecting on a habit that you may have. Maybe it's eating when you're anxious or you're sad. Maybe it's engaging in activities to distract ourselves when we're angry, anxious, or upset. I know mine is shopping. My husband can always tell when I'm stressed out because our Amazon bill is high or there's lots of deliveries coming to our house. So I understand that, and I know that that's a reaction that I have. So how can I change that moving forward with a better response? And then common habits normally revolve around people or places. So focusing on intentional habits can help us with clarity, reflection, and incorporate making these changes. And focusing on not necessarily poor or bad, but just how can we improve any habits that we have, honoring them, but moving forward to improve them for 2021. Listening to our body. We may be caregivers. We want to reach out to others. But sometimes we don't take the chance to really reflect and listen to our own bodies. So how are we feeling right now in this present moment? Are we hungry? Are we thirsty? Do we need some exercise? Do we need to stretch? Just notice how our bodies want to be fed, how they want to be moved, and how they want to be treated. Notice where there may be any pain or tension in the body. Honor it, notice it. Work with these emotions to acknowledge and see things as they are. We may not like or accept them, but we just need to respect them and honor them, and then think about ways that we can improve upon them for better well-being. And then living in that present moment, that here and now. So if you want to take away that self-check daily, that can be a bonus, right? That bonus of just taking time, about 10 seconds. How is my head feeling? How is my heart feeling? How is my body feeling today? Listening to the body is very important. And the last piece is keeping track of joy. Just think back to a time when you felt amusement, bliss, contentment, eagerness, elation, enthusiasm, excitement, hope, optimism, pleasure, or satisfaction. Did you notice it? Did you not notice it? Did you celebrate it? When we think of joy, we think of hope, we think of new beginnings, we think of the new year, 2021, any reflections or intentions that we want to set forward, and really think about keeping track of those positive moments in your life. Something that we do with our family is that we have a jar that we sit in our kitchen, and each time we feel the joy or something happens positive in our lives, we write down on a piece of paper that moment or that occurrence or that piece that we want to celebrate. We put that in the jar, and then at the end of the year, so we just did it almost a week ago, and we opened that jar and we reflected on the past year. And even though 2020 was a very challenging year in many ways, there were times of hope and joy. So we opened up the jar, we read it as a family, and then we really focused on those positive pieces for 2020 and how we can move positivity and joy into 2021. So mindfulness is a wonderful self-care habit when we're thinking about taking care of ourselves. Many of you may practice mindfulness, and mindfulness does not have to be hours. It can be those 10 seconds. It can be 3 minutes. It can be a minute. It can even just be time in between meetings throughout your day, or when you're walking to and from your car, or walking outside in the morning, whatever it may be. Mindfulness helps you gain confidence. It helps bring a sense of calm over the body. It increases happiness. It can be a great way to manage stress. It brings that self-awareness over the body. It can be a great pain management tool. It can help improve our mental health. It can improve sleep each night. It can lower blood pressure. It can also help maintain healthy relationships in our life. So mindfulness is very, very important. So in the conclusion, to the tips for 2020 and taking care of ourselves, 2 quotes that I really like. One, the first from Albert Einstein, "I never think of the future, it comes soon enough." And from Buddha, "The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, worry about the future, or anticipate troubles, but to live in the present moment wisely and earnestly." in that here and now, being present and just thinking about when I'm not present, how can I refocus my thoughts to be present and honoring that to take better care of ourselves for 2021. With the last slide that I have for today, this is just a glimpse into what we will be doing moving forward for 2021 in regards to well-being. I thank you for your time today and look forward to seeing you at future sessions. I hope that this empowers you to have a great start for 2021. And some of the topics that we will be talking about in the future are nutrition and food, mental and emotional health, wearable devices, and working from home, whether it's the home office setup, childcare situations, or virtual school that we may be adjusting to at this present time. So this is a glimpse into what is to come. And I look forward to working with you all and being with you all in the future at the first of each month. Please remember to check the alumni Facebook and Instagram accounts in the future and the alumni website for additional information regarding these upcoming virtual webinars. Listed on this last slide is my contact information, so I can be reached by email or by phone at any time. If you live close to the Richmond area, Richmond campus, please feel free to stop by. My office is currently located within the new Wellbeing Center on our campus. Are there any questions at this time that I could answer for you? There's one Q&A. Oh, thank you. There was one question before we conclude that was submitted previously, and it was a question about the indoor track over at the Weinstein Center for Recreation. That indoor track will reopen when our gymnasium is not being used for the academic classes. So at this time, moving into the spring 2021 semester, we will be utilizing the gymnasium, so courts 1, 2, and 3, for classes, for academic classes. So unfortunately, that indoor walking and running track will be closed until we are no longer using the gymnasium for classes. Any other questions that I can answer for today? You all have been a wonderful audience. Thank you so much for your time today. I look forward to seeing you all in the future. Best wishes for a wonderful 2021. Grant yourself some time today and moving forward for self-care. Do not feel guilty about it. We want to be the best versions of ourselves as we give to others for 2021. So thank you and go Spiders. We'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.